bask in the glory. Every other weekend there's a cognac story. Before we give a toast, better make sure they pour me another glass and put it in the air for the time that passed. I said bask in the glory. Every other weekend there's a cognac story. Before we give a toast, better make sure they pour me another glass and put it in the air for the time that passed.
1, 2, 3. We are going to go ahead and get started here. Ladies, gentlemen, connoisseurs, and sommeliers, once again, I am Taurean Meacham, and this is Cognac Stories. Okay, so last week, let me speak on that real quick. Last week, I gave y'all something that was just straight off the cuff. I gave y'all me in my purest form, unrefined, rough around the edges. It's kind of like, brown sugar. But what I will say is this, man, you're going to get those sometimes. Sometimes you gotta just go off and go on a rant, go off on a tangent. Sometimes give people some insight into the inner workings of your mind, why you do the things you do, why you say things you say, why you think the way you think. All right. And I'm going to do that from time to time. Sometimes it's going to come on here with no agenda, no talking points. And I'm just going to go off the cuff. We're just going to be riffing. It's like jazz, man. It's like jazz. And that's what a conversation can be like. It can be like jazz or a monologue or a dialogue. There's multiple types of conversations. All right. It's up to you to figure out which the conversation style is. But what I will say is this, man. If you enjoyed last week, more to come. Right now I'm actually solo because I wanted to give some time and space to what I think I'm gonna go ahead and do with the forward progress of this podcast. When I first started this, I wanted to be able to educate and entertain. And so with that being said, last week was entertaining. I know I had a blast. I had a laugh. I was cracking the fuck up when I listened to it again. But today we're here to educate. And what I want to do is go deeper into one of the questions that I was asked by one of my co-hosts, one of my co-panelists, one of my contributors, Isaiah Jones, Zay Rivera. And he asked me what my definition of like a woman that's ready to be a wife, and I gave an answer that was pretty good, but it wasn't a complete answer. And after some consideration and doing some thinking, I took about 90 minutes today while my daughter was taking a nap, and I wrote out some lessons, man. I've been in this game for years. It made me an animal. There's rules to this shit. So I wrote a manual, a step-by-step booklet for you to get your manhood or your womanhood, on track. Not your fucking wig pushback, all right? Shout out to the notorious B.I.G. Only Christopher we acknowledge is Wallace, all right? Throw 2 fucking pieces of ice up, you know what I'm saying? 2 cubes of ice up for the nicest MC. Obviously, I got a fucking green screen behind me, and this is a blue cup, all right? The podcast is still sponsored by Douce and apple juice, but I also got some water right here, so I'm not gonna, fucking go, too hard as like last time. We also got a little bit of the herbal essence. I don't know if you guys noticed last show. My face was covered in fucking welts and like wheals, and my hands were like covered in shit. I had shit all over my neck. I found out that I'm allergic to hemp. All right, so not marijuana, but unrefined hemp. Because what happened was, beginning of the month, I switched my my rolling papers up to like these organic. I still use raw, the brand raw, and I switched from the normal rolling papers, normal cones, normal pre-roll cones into organic unrefined hemp pre-rolls. And let me tell you, man, I thought it was fucking bed bugs, right? Because I broke out. Like the day I checked into a new hotel, I had all these bumps on me that looked like bites, and I'm up until this point, I never had an allergic reaction in my life. Barely a fucking bee sting. So I did not know what to expect. I mean, it wasn't like chicken pox. It looked like I had just bites all over myself because I had all these welts and wheals. And I guess you could say blisters. That's what they look like. And then, I showed some people and they were like, I don't know if that looks like bed bugs, and I didn't see a bed bug, right? And the hotel room was relatively clean. And dude, after 2 nights of just fucking breaking out like that, and I couldn't figure out what it was. I'm like, yo, it's fucking bed bugs. I go to the manager of the hotel. I'm like, yo, y'all gotta change my room right now. I'm ready to fight a motherfucker and shit. And I prepaid for this hotel for a month, so I'm really not trying to check out. I'm just trying to change rooms at this point. So I change rooms. I go to Target and get a fucking a bug, a bed bug and like bed mite bomb and shit. And I got like all this cleaning shit in here. I done stripped the sheets off, put a brand new mattress protector over the bed and shit like that. Did all this stuff, right? Bombed the entire fucking room. Put a bug bomb in the hotel room. That's how fucking paranoid I was at this time. And I'm just itching like a motherfucker, bro. And I'm like buying all this spray, calamine lotion. I got like Benadryl on fucking deck. Shout out to Benadryl for saving my fucking life. And I'm still like breaking out. My scalp is itching like just everywhere, bro. I'm like a mangy ass dog at this point. And then I'm like, okay, well, what changed on the first of the month when it started? And I went through everything, and all it could be was I thought it might have been marijuana, but I'm like, I'm smoking the same strains. Nothing changed except my wraps. And then I took one of the wraps that I had, and the pre-rolls that I had were also made from the same organic hemp papers, and I rubbed it on my nose, and like 5 minutes later I had a fucking welt right on my nose. You can actually see that on the last podcast. I got a big ass red spot looking like fucking Rudolph on the last pod from an allergic reaction. Like if you were to get like a pinprick test, I did the same thing. I'm a human genius, all right? So keep that in mind. But yeah, man, that was last week. So I was dealing with an allergic reaction from the first of the month. That is not why last week's show was that way, though. Last week's show was that way because that's what the fuck I felt like doing. And I enjoyed it. And you're going to see more of that, man. So if you want just the random entertaining shows, I'll let you know. I'll let you know in advance, all right? But today is a little different because, like I said, it's time to educate, vice, entertain. And today I want to talk about real men and real women. Before I start, let me go ahead and take a sip for the gods out there. Peace to everybody in the military. Y'all know what the brown liquor do for us, all right? Y'all know what it do. Y'all know what it do. I'm going to make it do what it do, baby. Shout out to Jamie Foxx. He won a second Oscar. He won an Oscar for being Ray Charles and then being a cartoon piano player. That motherfucker's cheating. Yo, how you get an Oscar twice for doing the same shit? I'm going to say that for next week, though, because now we're here to talk about the real. All right? So, what I mean by real men and real women. So, real is an acronym. And I'm going to talk about real and I'm going to talk about fake. And so, let's start off with what is fake. All right, so the acronym FAKE, F.A.K.E. What that stands for is fucking assholes killing everything. And by killing everything, I don't mean people because, yeah, that fucking sucks, right? But I mean fucking assholes killing everything. And that's killing a vibe, killing a mood, killing a buzz. You in a relationship, the fucking asshole that's killing a romance, can't keep the same momentum that they did to get you, that they have to do to keep you. If you guys are trying to do some community service and somebody, is out here saying that you guys are only doing that because you're trying to get a look or you want some likes, that's a fucking asshole trying to kill everything else that's going on instead of heal what's inside of them. So we have no time to waste. We don't have the luxury of time to waste on the fake. I can only focus on the real. I can only focus on my people and my people that want to heal. All right. So for our people, everybody that listens to Cognac stories, all right, whether you're black, white, brown, yellow, blue, purple, male, female, gay, straight, I don't give a fuck. This applies to you and you all. I'm a black man, so I'm a black man first. So this is especially important for my brothers and sisters to listen to. All right. If you're not black, you can still apply it because it's about the real versus the fake. This is not a political affiliation, all right? This does not care about your political party, doesn't care about your economic status. You don't have to be a high-value man or a blue-collar guy or whatever, male, female. This shit applies to you, all right? Now, I told you what fake was. Fake is fucking assholes killing everything, all right? And now this is what real is. Real stands for respectful, educated, accountable, and loving men and women. All right. Real men, real women. Respectful, educated, accountable, and loving. And I'm going to go ahead and break that entire thing down right now. All right. Before I do that, shout out to the sponsor, marijuana. And these are all lessons that I learned throughout my 39 years here on this earth. Most of the credit goes to my father, Bruce Booker. Thank God for him. Real man stepped up when my biological didn't bother. Shout out to my mom for trapping my dad. I don't know how you did it, but you did it. Shout out to mom. Happy Mother's Day. Also, let's go, man. So the first component of this acronym of R.E.A.L is respectful. Okay, and so the definition of respect and respectful means an esteem for or a sense of the worth or excellence of a person, a personal quality or ability, or something considered as a manifestation of a personal quality or ability. So the first part I want to focus on is an esteem for or a sense of the worth of a person. All right, so if you value somebody as a person or you value something about them, all right, or you consider yourself to be a humanitarian or a humanist, then you will show everybody respect until that's not an option. All right, so you want to lead with respect, treat everybody respectfully, and in return, that should be reflected back. All right, respect is the cornerstone to any interpersonal relationship, whether it's a familiar relationship, whether it's family or friends, or whether it's romantic. All right, it's the catalyst for honesty and loyalty. We must be respectful in our communications and our actions with one another. We cannot pretend that our words do not matter. We can't say that the pen is mightier than the sword and this say something as asinine as sticks and stones may break my bones and words will never hurt me. People commit suicide over words. All right, we've seen words make countries go to war. We've seen words drop the stock market. All right, we know full well the power of words, and we should not say things that we don't mean. All it takes is a few seconds to think before you speak. All right, if the people in your life are not worth those extra seconds of consideration, then you do not truly respect them. All right, and so what I want to go into now is some examples of disrespect in interpersonal relationships, and this is whether it's family, it's friends, or it's a significant other. So some examples of disrespect in your relationships, all right, yelling and screaming. People that know me know that I'm not a yeller. I'm not a screamer. You may have heard me raise my voice 5 times in my adult life, all right? That's just not something I do. That's automatically going to make somebody shut down and not be willing to receive whatever message you're trying to deliver to them. At the end of the day, communication, all right, one of the bases of communication is respect. And if you're yelling and you're screaming, no one is going to receive that message. They're only going to immediately put up their defenses, all right? Because when you criticize somebody or when you come at somebody in an aggressive way, we naturally have to put up our defenses, all right? It's our, it goes all the way back to the fight or flight instincts, all right? And putting up that barrier is part of the fight, all right? So yelling and screaming, you can't do that. That's disrespectful, all right? Speaking in the absolutes. This is one of my pet peeves. So you'll have, men, women, whatever. They'll say you always do this or you never do this. You never say I love you. You never take me anywhere. You never spend any time with the kids. And I'm talking about when we know that that's not true. All right. So when you know that something isn't true, it's not an absolute value. All right. It's not a binary number. All right. You can't say things like that or speak in superlatives. All right. Because what that does is when that person is doing those things, that minimizes those contributions that person is trying to make to whatever relationship you guys have. All right. So if you say you never take the trash out and I take the trash out 5 out of 7 days, then you're basically shitting on those 5 days I actually did. In those 2 days that I didn't, you could have just backed me up, held me accountable in a different way. But we'll get into the accountability factor. All right. So speaking in absolutes, that's disrespectful. All right. The silent treatment. And that's something that I've been guilty of. I can go radio silence on somebody in a heartbeat. But if I truly respect them, all right, I'll let them know what's wrong before I distance myself from having to interact with them. And sometimes we do need space, but you can have space without having silence. All right. And you may not be able to articulate your point or formulate your point of approach for how to address this issue that you have with somebody. But the silent treatment is not the way to do it. What I say is, if you don't want to speak, scribble. Write that shit down. Send them a text message or whatever, but let them know, hey, I gotta step away from whatever the situation is because I don't have the words to express how I feel. And it's easy at saying that, but the silent treatment will just make people go into their head about the worst scenario possible. So you don't want to do that, all right? Because what the silent treatment can do is it can lead to people making assumptions. And making assumptions, accusing the innocent man, that's the worst thing you could do. To paraphrase Joe Budden. The worst thing you could do to an innocent man is accuse him, man. Shout out to Joe Budden. All right? And so the thing is that when you make assumptions, you make an ass out of you and me. And I'm not an ass. All right? I may be an ass man. All right? Like my man Billy Gunn from the D-Generation X days. I may be an ass man, but I don't like being made an ass. And when you make assumptions, all right, you assume that I didn't get back to you because I'm out cheating or doing something like that. Those are your insecurities. Those are your insecurities making you make assumptions. So you have to be in touch and be in tune with who you are. Know about your own insecurities, and whatever insecurities that you have, you need to be working on them. All right. So making assumptions, projecting. All right, that's something that we do. We project our insecurities and things that we may be doing onto others. We say that this person's cheating when we're the one that's dipping out, or we say that this person's no longer in the relationship when we're the one that checked out. We assume things instead of just asking the question. If you respect someone, you want a clear and concise answer about what you may have questions about. So just ask the question, all right? Easiest thing you can do. Letting issues fester. That's something that I've done in the past. All right. But that's something that women, y'all do, Jesus Christ. And y'all let something fester and fester and fester. And then it becomes that volcano when it could have been something as simple as stating what you have a problem with. All right. Let's say I'm not a guy that opens doors, right? I haven't learned that or been taught that. And that's an expected behavior that you want to see. First off, our expectations about, our conduct in a relationship is something that we should discuss prior to, if we're talking about romantic, right? But if I'm not doing something, or something is lacking, or something small, a small issue that you're letting fester, don't blow up 2 months later and call me rude because I don't open doors. You could have told me, hey, I like to have doors open for me. Let me know what's important to you, all right? And then I can make a choice about, am I going to act on this? Am I going to do what you want me to do, because this is something that makes you feel good and makes you feel appreciated, all right, that I'm opening the door for you, or I'm cooking dinner, or whatever the issue is. Once you identify that it's an issue and it's bothering you, all right, you need to go ahead and express that. So do not let issues fester, because when it's like any kind of wound, right? If it goes untreated, it becomes gangrenous, and then you got to cut it off or you die. And letting issues fester, it leads to you having to cut off a relationship, like a friend or a family member, or it kills a romance, all right? Because instead of just addressing it, all right, you let the issue fester, all right? Not being open about your needs, all right? That's something that, we just touched on. And so not being open about your needs is very simple. It's a conversation that people, they don't want to have, because they don't want to face the rejection about being open and honest with somebody. If you like doors being opened, tell this person that you're dealing with, all right? If you like a man to say I love you every night, tell this man that you like that. If you're a guy and you like your girl to cook, don't wait until you guys already moved in and then you're blowing up and shitting on her because all she can make is ramen noodles, and hamburger helper. You should have told her that the first week y'all were dating. All right. So you got to be open about your needs. I know for me, I'm a person that I need my partner. I need my person to be present, so when I'm dating a young lady, if we're not in the same city, it's not going to work, because I know how I am, and that need that I have for that closeness is going to get met by somebody else, because I know that I can't do the long distance shit. That's me being open and honest with myself and somebody I was dating, but that's the thing. Like, you have to be open about your needs. No one knows what they are until you express that. All right. So I can't meet that need until you tell me what that need is. And you can't expect people to be mind readers. We're not. I'm not Professor X. I'm not Charles Xavier. You're not Jean Grey. All right. We can't read minds. The iPhone is not Cerebro. We can't read minds. All right. So you have to tell me, just like Jodeci said, come and talk to me. I really want to meet you. You know what I mean? Fucking talk to me, baby. Be open about your needs. Let me pause for a second and take a sip from my invisible cup. All right. To quote the great, my man E40, you motherfuckers don't know nothing about no goddamn timing. All right. That's for motherfucking E40 and Tupac, man. Only the real know about that shit, man. E40, Tupac, and Rapping Forte. All right. So timing. And what I mean by timing is bringing things up at the wrong time. If we're having an issue, the timing to bring that up is not when we're surrounded by friends and family and company. It's not in a restaurant, so we're making a scene, all right? Because we're never going to actually be able to address the issue because we're both concerned about saving face and not looking like a sucker, all right? So people have to understand that timing is very important. If you have an issue, all right, sometimes you may have to put a little bit of space in between when the offense happened and when you are able to articulate yourself about how it made you feel. All right. Because sometimes when you speak too soon, you still have that heat. You still got that hot blood. You still got that passion. You still got that emotion that the offense or that whatever they did to you, made you feel. They got your goat. They riding your gate. You're upset. You're pissed off. You're frustrated. You're irate. And the right time to bring that shit up may not be the grocery store. It may not be the wedding. All right. It may not be Thanksgiving dinner. All right. So you got to understand that timing and being tactful is very important. All right. Because when you have poor timing like that, that's disrespectful. All right. That is very, very, very disrespectful. You can easily remove yourself from a situation in order to not do something like that, but you make a choice to do that. All right. Another thing, passive aggressive behavior. Now, I hate shit like that, all right? We all know passive-aggressive people. Those are, like, not the worst. They're not the worst, but they're some of the most annoying because they do a lot of microaggressions. And people that know about, critical race theory and if you study psychology, you learn about microaggressions. So you're a master of microaggressions if you're a passive-aggressive person. If you exhibit passive-aggressive behavior, PAB, what I like to say, you are a punk ass bitch. All right. That's what punk ass bitches do. PABs, punk ass bitches. They exhibit passive aggressive behavior. All right. You don't have to be passive. You can just be assertive. All right. Be assertive and say, hey, I don't like this. This is how it makes me feel. I am not going to tolerate this. The end. All right. You don't have to, be all shady and doing little spiteful things. No one likes a punk ass bitch. All right. Don't exhibit or don't use passive aggressive behavior when it comes to interpersonal relationships or romantic relationships because you'll only kill them. It's a sign. It's a form of disrespect. All right. Another thing is a lack of emotional empathy. And a lot of you people don't understand what empathy is, so I will define that later on. All right. When we get into the section about loving. All right. But a lack of emotional empathy. If you're dealing with people, you have people in your life, people in your circle, it is your job to be there for them. Otherwise, why are they there in your life? Why are they there for you? All right. So you have to be in touch with your emotions and then the emotions of those around you that you care about. All right. That's a form of respect. Is you seeing your man is not right, or your woman is not right, or your friend is not right, or your family member is not right. You understanding that they are going through something and you trying to relate, you trying to put yourself in their shoes, understand their perspective. All right. But you gotta have the capacity to do that first. All right. And a lot of us don't have that capacity to even display or exhibit any emotional empathy. All right. The other thing that is super disrespectful, I'm gonna tell you right now, all the guys are gonna agree with this. This is people always having to be right. Now that's the one thing that'll kill a relationship, and it'll kill any kind of conversation or any disagreement or argument, because uh, the right answer isn't always the answer that's going to get you guys to the next step. All right, and people get so caught up in having to be right, they're not willing to accept the fact that they may be wrong. You got to understand, like when you're so in tune to trying to prove your point. All right, and you're trying to get your point across, trying to get your shit off, right? You're not even open to the idea that you could be wrong, because you're too busy formulating your own plan to disprove this other person, to display or exhibit some kind of superiority over them. That's what that is. It's a dick measuring contest. Or for the women, a clip measuring contest. I don't know, a tit measuring contest. It's a dick measuring contest or a tit measuring contest. Either way, you don't always have to be right. Sometimes you can just acquiesce, because you'll have to agree to disagree sometimes. Like me, for example, I don't eat pork. All right. My partner, they may eat pork. I can't be on their shit about that. The right answer is whatever works for you guys. All right. Because later on down the road, if you decide to have a family, when you have a kid, you got to make a choice. Are they going to eat pork or not? All right. And so having to be right isn't the right answer. It's what's going to work for both of you. What's the compromise? And with relationships, it's all about compromise. All right. It's not about, giving up ground, because compromise is a decision that you make together, whether it's family, friends, or who you're fucking, your girl, your boy, your goat, whatever, right? So the thing is that the compromise, all right, that is what is important, not having to be right. Like people are focused on the fact that you cheated, as opposed to figuring out why you cheated. It's, oh God, you cheated, you called another girl, you had a phone number in this, you liking people's pictures. Well, why are you doing this? That's the question that you really need to be asking, because that means something is lacking. If they're showing you this disrespect by stepping out in a relationship, and you need to figure out why it is, because it could be something that you did to them first, and because they're not a real person yet, a real man or a real woman, they haven't learned how to formulate their thoughts, how to articulate their emotions, all right? And that's the thing. That's why I'm here, to help you understand that. I'm not a guru. I'm not a fucking a marriage counselor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist, all right? Not a lifestyle coach. I'm not a fucking celebrity. I'm just a motherfucker with a cup of Douce, all right, and a joint, and 39 years of experience on this earth, all right? And I got a lot of friends. I got a lot of knowledge, and we share a lot of ideas. All right, we exchange a lot of information, and we all use that to make ourselves better. All right, so I'm not an expert, I'm just me. Another thing, and the last example I'll give you guys of disrespect, is name calling and belittling. And this right here is an instant no-go for me. This is the no-fly zone. If this happens when I'm dealing with somebody, this is an instant kill. This is a one-hit kill. This is like a tactical nuke when you're playing Call of Duty, is name calling and belittling, because you're supposed to mean what you say and say what you mean. If you call me something, that means that's been in your brain. It's not something that just came up. You're not freestyling it. You were thinking about that. All right. And you had that in the tuck. You had that in the stash. All right. And you were waiting to shank me with that word or that phrase or whatever it is, whatever my insecurity was, or my lacking or my shortcoming or my failure. You had that as a shank, ready to stab me with it as soon as, something happened that you didn't like. So name calling, belittling, never call people that you respect, people that you care about. You never call them out their name. Their name is their name, and it's the most important word you will ever say to them is their name. All right? The name is important. And so calling somebody out their name is saying that you don't respect them. All right? Belittling somebody, all right, that's not what we're here for. That's a waste of energy and resources to belittle somebody, and if you care about somebody, your job is to support them, all right, provide for them, protect them, and then promote their achievements and promote their endeavors and promote furthering their development as a person or as a professional or as a parent or as a lover or as a friend or whatever. You're supposed to help promote that. So you never want to call names. You never want to belittle people. And I mean, in this society today, that's what's hot in these streets. That's all you see is men and women calling each other out their names, politicians on the left and right, name calling. You have a group of society that thinks that that's the shit, and you have another group of society that will fuck you up over that. All right. And so what I need you people to understand, when I say you people, I mean everybody listen to this podcast. Don't get it twisted. So what I need you people to understand, my connoisseurs, my sommeliers, my ladies and gentlemen, all right, what I need y'all to understand is that name calling, belittling, it's the ultimate form of disrespect. All right. Instant kill of a relationship, whether it's friends, family, or romantic. All right. And that's respectful. That's the first part of the acronym. That's how we have to carry ourselves. All right. And so, and that's just examples of disrespect. All right. Respect goes to how you greet people, how you present yourself, how you act in public. You know, we had a good brother that was the owner of a restaurant down in Dallas. He had a brunch. They had on some hip hop music. Women decided to stand on tables and twerk. He said, y'all can't do that in here. And people didn't understand why he thought that their behavior was disrespectful. Yes, it is. If you are a grown adult woman and you are at brunch and you are standing on the table twerking, that is disrespectful, not only to yourself, but also to me, because I don't want to have to see that shit when I'm eating. All right. That's just it. If you're, you know, and I used to do this when I was a young buck, all right, and I had the older heads that taught me about this, right? You sagging your pants. I know I sound like Bill Cosby or some shit right now, you know. Whatever you want to do is whatever you want to do when you're outside doing whatever you do. But if we're in a public establishment, i.e. your job, Walmart, Target, you know, we're at fucking Popeyes, you know, we're in a mall or something like that, and we got people around, nobody's trying to see your ass crack. All right. Nobody's trying to see your butthole, you know, because I'm going to tell you right now, man, you know, don't present it unless you want to get penetrated. That's what they'll tell you in jail, man. Do not present it unless you want to get it penetrated. You know what I'm saying? Don't flaunt it unless you want to get fucked. And this is the guys. So if you showing your ass, you want it. You want somebody in it. I'm sorry. And I you know. And I'm not talking about just letting the jeans hang, you know, a little bit low, but it's, you know, you act like, bro, I should not be able to see your cuff. If I can see your cuff as a man, you disrespecting me, bro. And if you're a woman and you twerking on a table, that's disrespectful. I mean, shit, man. Even how you dress when you're around friends and family and your partner. If we're at Thanksgiving and we got kids in there, I got my mom there, things like that, and I bring you, do not come with the low cut shirt with the titties out. That's disrespectful, all right? And you may not understand why it is, but it is, all right? It is. How we address each other, how we talk, all right? If I don't know you, I don't call you anything but brother or sister or your name if I know it, you know? Or if you're older than me, I call you sir, I call you ma'am. And I get shit on all the time by women for calling them ma'am. And they're like, I'm not a ma'am, I got a name. Well, I don't fucking know your name, and I'm not going to call you bitch. So I'm going to call you ma'am, all right? And that's not to say anything about your age. It's not ageist. I'm trying to be respectful, but we are so far from addressing each other with respect, you know. We don't know what respect is when it's right in our face. And I know me, I'm the first person to use the word bitch. But for me, bitch is universal. It's male, female, old, young, dead or alive, alien or human. I don't give a fuck, all right? You know, but when I'm talking to women, I'm going to call you by your name. I'm going to call you sister. I'm going to call you ma'am. You know, I'm going to call you queen. All right. That's not meant in any way to be respectful, but we got to understand respect is in many areas, many avenues, and we got to embody that in all forms of communication, verbal and nonverbal, because the way that we address our attitudes, the way we act with each other, we may not be directly communicating with one person, but that is communicating a message with somebody else that is observing us. All right. And that's what I mean by being respectful, all right? So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the E, and that E stands for educated. As I sip from my invisible cup. And the definition of educated, that is the knowledge and development resulting from the process of learning. All right, we must not be stagnant when it comes to improving oneself and fostering an environment that encourages others to want to do the same as well. All right. Everybody may not be a PhD candidate. Lord knows I'm not. I'm a community college dropout. All right. And I'm back in community college. But the goal is to become the best version of yourself. All right. Education isn't simply going back to school and taking college courses. It's also about being aware of oneself and one's environment. So going to therapy and learning about your trauma, that is a form of education. Learning about emotional intelligence, that is a form of education. Learning how to cook a new dish for your lady is a form of education, all right? You have to be aware of current events and the social climate of your community, all right? Don't just live somewhere. Live somewhere, all right? Don't just be a resident, all right? Live there. Live amongst the people. You have to understand what's going on in the news. You gotta understand what's going on with social issues. You cannot be oblivious to that anymore. Ignorance, there's a saying, ignorance is bliss. And my addition, my addendum to that, my amendment to that is ignorance is bliss, comma, and you look happy as fuck. All right? You motherfuckers out there looking happy as fuck, not knowing what's going on with the news, never voting, all right, not knowing shit about the economy, never trying to further your skills or develop yourself as a person, never going to therapy, all right, never talking to your friends and family about issues, never asking for help, all right. Education is the knowledge and development resulting from the process of learning, and learning is not a monolith. There are many ways to learn. You can be a visual learner. You can be a guy that learns through books. You can be a person that learns through actually doing things. All right. You can learning a new language. All right. And let's go over some examples of furthering your education. First thing, learning a new language. Damn near half the country speaks Spanish. Why the fuck would you not learn Spanish? For black people, we have a huge community of people that speak Creole, speak French. It's very easy to learn French, Creole, all right? And you may say, oh, God, I don't have the money to learn a new language, to go back to college, or blah, 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 blah. Listen, if any of you people out there, and by you people, I mean you people listen to this podcast, if any of you people out there use Uber, Uber has a thing called Uber Rewards, and you go on there and you can get free rides, you can get free meals, you can get 20% off your orders, all type of stuff, right? I got an eyelash in my eye, you guys can't see that, but if you're watching on YouTube, you see me jabbing myself in the eye, right? But Uber has a reward system and it has points. And one of the things that you can use these points for is 3 months free of Rosetta Stone. All right. So instead of getting 20% off your meal, you can spend 500 or 800 points, which is like 3 Uber rides. You can spend that on 3 free months of Rosetta Stone, or you can spend it on 3 free months of Sirius XM radio, and you can listen to the news, all right, instead of listening to blazing hip hop and R&B, all right? That's the thing. So you use your Uber Rewards points on Rosetta Stone. You take 3 months of a language. Every 3 months, you can switch the language up. I'm not expecting you to be conversational, but simply learning the new language, all right, it gets your brain working, all right? It's your neurons and electrons and your axioms, all this shit about your brain, right? You got all this information traveling through your brain, strengthening your brain, your level of knowledge, and it also improves your command of your own language, all right? And then also learn a new language. When you understand how hard it is to learn a new language, you'll be more empathetic to people where English is their second language, because you'll learn that the same way when someone says something to you in a foreign language, you got to take it in that foreign language, translate it to English, and then put it back into the foreign language and say it. That's what they're doing as well. All right. So learn a new language. All right. Another thing is financial management skills. We always complain about what schools didn't teach us and what the government didn't teach us and what our parents didn't teach us when it comes to financial management. Well, listen, man, our parents were barely fucking surviving, so they didn't have time to do that shit. They're trying to put food on the table. They're trying to make sure we got a roof over our head. We're talking about the 80s, man, the 90s, Reaganomics, the crack era, things like that, mass incarceration, all types of shit working against our parents, and that's why they couldn't teach financial management. The schools can barely get people to pass in the 10 class, all right? And this is before every kid had an IEP, all right? If we can barely get through Algebra 1, how the hell can I teach you how to invest, all right? Look at the reading and math scores for, young adults today, especially black and brown students. If you look at what those scores are and what their math and reading level is, there's no fucking way we could teach investing in school. Not at a level or at the magnitude folks think that it should be. It has to be like a very small elective or a club, like the business club, and you can learn about that there. But we all have access to all the information now, and you can go on YouTube right now and learn about investing, learn about stocks, learn about saving. You can learn how to start a business, learn how to get an LLC, learn how to file a patent, learn how to get a trademark. But motherfuckers don't do that, but they will hit you up on Facebook or hit you up on IG or, promote the fact that they're scamming the government using PPP loans. And that's what I'm saying. So if we put that same energy that we use into getting a PPP loan, all right, or scamming, and you learned about financial management skills, i.e. saving, investment, how to buy a home, the importance of credit, things of that nature, all right, we'd be light years beyond, because that's what our grandparents did, all right? When we had Black Wall Street, when we had fucking Wilmington, North Carolina, when we had Seneca in New York, Seneca Village in New York, when we had all these black communities, we had Rosewood, all right, we had all these black communities, the men and women there were knowledgeable about finance, all right? And so in order to be leaders, all right, in order to be an entrepreneur, all right, in order to be someone that's self-sufficient and independent, you have to understand financial management. I'm not saying you got to be the Wolf of Wall Street, but shit, man, you got to be the wolf of your motherfucking house, all right? Everybody in the house can't not be ignorant to finances, all right? And so we said learning about investing in savings, all right, learning a new language, taking a cooking lesson. And let me tell you right now, a lot of us get with these women, or a lot of women get with men that simply look good but can't do shit, It's like my man, KRS-One. Shout out to KRS-One to God. He said the girls look so good, but their brain is not ready. I don't know. Yo, listen, stop worrying about, a girl having a big ass and big titties. Can she make shrimp and grits? All right. You worrying about a dude looking like fucking Boris Kodjoe or Idris Elba. Can that motherfucker put together furniture? Or can he make a meal? Can he make a meal for you and your girlfriends, or you and your parents when they come over for dinner? All right. Because as a woman, you're not going to want to do all the cooking. All right. You're going to want some compromise in that area, some help in that area. All right. And as a man, you're going to want a woman that can do that as well. Because me, as a guy that can cook, grew up in a household where my dad did enjoy the cooking. That's what I'm used to seeing. All right. And then all the men that are my family, they all can cook. That's what I'm saying. So, because cooking, the reason why it's important is because not only is it just, okay, we're making food, we're nourishing our bodies, but the majority of conversations that people have are around the table, whether it's at breakfast, brunch, lunch, or dinner. All right. And then for the resurgence, all right, to bring back families and family time in the core family, the nuclear family. All right, 2 people in the house. I don't give a fuck if they're man and woman. 2 people, right? Cooking is a way that you can express yourself. It's a way that you can show love. You can show care, compassion, all that good shit. When you're feeling bad, your person can make you a certain meal, all right? Or if you're having like a shitty day, and you know what my favorite meal is, and you make it, goddamn, that's the best. That's the fucking best, and that's what I'm saying. Or if you got family and friends over, and instead of making the wife do the cook, she can just go be a hostess, and you can take the men into the kitchen and y'all whip it up, because we love the grill. We love the grill, all right? But sometimes you got to bake. Sometimes you got to broil, all right? So fellas out there, take some cooking lessons. Ladies, if you can't cook or you're not willing to cook, you will be unmarried, and you will have 13 cats. And die alone. That's it. Because no man is trying to stay with a woman that can't feed him. Like, what the fuck? That's ridiculous. Because I'm thinking, is how are you going to take care of the kids? Because you're going to get pregnant and not work, and all you can make is fucking macaroni and cheese out of a box. So my kid can't eat that shit. My kid has to eat healthy, organic. So you need to be able to cook. Men, women, take cooking lessons, please. All right? Learning about health and nutrition. And let me tell you, this is so important for men and women, especially important for black people. Let me go ahead and read something from the CDC. All right, this is not me making it up. This is Dr. Fauci's people. All right, and so overall, men and women with college degrees had lower obesity prevalence compared with those with less education. All right, so let me make it real simple. Men and women with college degrees weren't as fat as the rest of you motherfuckers, all right? And to even get into that, 49% of black people, all right, are obese. I'm not talking about overweight, all right? Obese. And before, so just in case you guys don't understand what the fuck that is, I'm gonna get you the definition about being overweight and obese, all right? Because I don't want you guys to have any misconceptions about what I mean. Because you have being overweight and then being obese. And obese is a disorder that is involving excessive body fat that increases the risk of health problems. Obesity often results from taking in more calories than are burned by exercise in normal daily activities. And obesity occurs when a person's body mass index is 30 or greater. 30% or greater. So your BMI is 30 or greater. And then I want to say 22 to 29 is overweight, which is fine. When you're obese, all right, you are a health risk, man. And we barely have healthcare as it is. All right. But learning about health and nutrition is a way you can further your education because it benefits you and it benefits those around you. All right. It's going to extend your life. All right. It's going to extend the life of those around you, and you can be around to, play with your kids instead of fucking dying. All right. But by race, ethnicity, the same obesity and education pattern has been seen among non-Hispanic white, non-Hispanic black, and Hispanic women, and also among non-Hispanic white men, although the differences were not all statistically significant. So across the races, the same pattern goes. So the higher educated you are, the less obesity rates you had. But that was for non-Hispanic white people, non-Hispanic black people, so and Hispanic women. All right. But the difference was not statistically significant among non-Hispanic black men. Obesity prevalence increased with education attainment. So with black men, the smarter they got, the fatter they got. All right. I'm going to tell you right now, everybody I know went to college got fat as fuck. All right. I'm just saying. So among non-Hispanic women and men and Hispanic men, there were no differences in obesity prevalence by education level. So we seen with black men, the more educated, the more out of shape they were. With everybody else, the more educated you were, the more in shape you were. Okay, among men, obesity prevalence was lower in the lowest and highest income groups compared with the middle income group. So among men, obesity prevalence was lower in the lowest and highest income groups compared with the middle income group. So the poorer you were or the richer you were, the fatter you were. But if you're middle class, you were kind of all right. This pattern was seen among non-Hispanic white and Hispanic men. Obesity prevalence was higher in the highest income group than in the lowest income group among non-Hispanic black men. Once again, obesity prevalence was higher in the highest income group than in the lowest income group among non-Hispanic black men. So black men, when y'all go to college and y'all make a lot of money and y'all living good, high on the hog, y'all also fucking look like hogs. You're fat as fuck. All right. So, bro, just look at television. You see all these, smart brothers or all these high value men. They're fucking fat, or they're fat because you don't have to work to maintain your body to get women. But it's not about maintaining your body to get women. It's about maintaining your body to fucking live. All right. So learn about health and nutrition. All you got to do is dedicate 10 minutes a day to yourself to learning something new about health and nutrition and applying it, and you'll be fantastic, man. Gentlemen, ladies, please read. All right, read the newspaper or watch international news. A lot of y'all like to watch Fox News and MSNBC or CNN. You get these biased perspectives. You know what? Hey, look at Al Jazeera. Look at BBC News. Look at The Guardian. All right, look at international news and look at how they view America or how they report on incidents that happen here. All right, it's a little more objective because they don't have a dog in the race. You know, they don't have a dog in the fight or a horse in the race. So they're just telling how it is, a little more objective. But you have to read the newspaper, the local newspaper, to get the understanding about what's going on with your local community, and then watch the news or read the news, you know, Wall Street Journal, things of that nature, to understand what's going on, big picture, how this is affecting you, because you have access to all the information in the world, and ignorance is not an option anymore. All right, ignorance is a choice now. Like Kanye said, slavery was a choice. Ignorance is a choice now, because we have access to all the information in the world, and we are choosing to not use it. We are choosing to not use our resources when information is king and information is also free. All right, so instead of being on Facebook or IG, you know, liking some pictures, feel free to read one of these articles about the world, you know, about the world. That's it. Participating in local politics and local community issues. All right, so I'm not saying you got to go run for office, but first off, go vote. All right, that is furthering your education. You may not think it is, but it is, because you have to learn about the candidates, what their platform is, what the issues are, but you're also learning about what's important to you. What do you care about as a voter? All right, you won't know that until you do some introspection and say, hey, you know what? I don't give a fuck about a pipeline going through middle America and potentially poisoning, some fucking farmlands that nobody's using. And what I do care about is the fact that we got a bunch of paper mills in my community that are run down, and all that fucking runoff from those paper mills are getting into the local water supply. All right, that's real shit going on in fucking St. Mary's, Georgia right now. All right, or if you're in the Appalachia area, all right, West Virginia, they have all those coal mines where they have all that coal ash that is seeping into the local rivers and streams that is poisoning the local community, local population. They all got lead poisoning, and lead poisoning leads to higher rates of mental illness, handicaps, retardation, birth defects, things of that nature. It's highest in areas that have high levels of lead poisoning. That's why lead paint was a big ass issue back in the day. All y'all kids eating them lead paint chips, that's why y'all dumb as fuck now. But participate in local politics. Go to your school board meetings. Go to your city council meetings. All right. Learn about the local community issues, Go to a local community center and learn about why the kids are the way they are. You complain about the kids being wild as fuck. Well, go to the local community center and see what resources that they have there. And if they don't have shit, how about you get involved? Get involved in your community, all right? That's furthering your education. It's not just about books, all right? Because education is a verb, all right? It is an action verb, all right? Education is a process. It's a process. You have to do something in order to gain that education, gain that knowledge. All right. Once again, reading. All right. No words read are a waste. A wise man said that. What man said that? Me. God damn it. All right. Another thing that I said, you try to steal my shit, I will sue the fuck out of you. Strong leaders become strong. Let me say it again. Strong readers become strong leaders. All right. Strong readers become strong leaders. All right. One of the first things about being a leader is you may have to be comfortable public speaking. The people that are uncomfortable in public reading are going to be uncomfortable in public speaking. All right. Remember back in the day when you guys would have those couple kids in class that couldn't read for shit. When the teacher would call on them, you guys would laugh and make fun of them because they couldn't read for shit. All right. It was funny then, but it's not funny now because it's a sign of what's going on in the home. And as an older person, understand that now, that's super sad, man, because I'd be embarrassed if my kid couldn't read, but then that would show a failure as a parent on my part, that my kid couldn't read and he's in the 8th grade and can't read a book. All right, but reading. Strong readers become strong leaders. Quote me on that. That is trademarked. So if you try to use it, I will fucking sue you. All right. But those are some examples of furthering your education. All right, it's not all about going to college and what's in the book and who has the most amount of degrees. Life experience is one of our best teachers, and if you don't have any life experience because you've been behind a bunch of books your entire life, you're going to be that awkward individual that has no friends because they can't interact with people. They don't understand the science and the art of conversation and human interaction. All right. And so you gain a lot of that through reading because it allows you to see a different perspective. It teaches you about different tones and different styles of communication, and it gives you insight, courtesy of an author. It gives you insight into the minds of other people and why they think the way they do. Or if you're reading a biography, autobiography, self-help books, things like that, you're reading about history, you're reading a comic book, I don't give a fuck, the back of the cereal box. Read, all right? Strong readers become strong leaders. And that's what we need today. That's what we need in our community, is we need leaders, all right? The same way we put athletes on the pedestal, we also got to put the educated on the pedestal. And that's not always Mr. 4.9 GPA, all right? That could be the guy that's the 3.0 GPA, but helping out everybody else. That could be the guy that's, educating folks about community issues, those community leaders. As a bunch of things, right? But in order to make these leaders, got to make them readers first. All right, now we went through what the R stands for, respectful, and what the E stands for, educated. Now let's go on to what the A stands for, and that's accountable. And that is something that in today's society we have a problem with. No one wants to be held accountable for their actions, and no one at all wants to be accountable for other people's actions. And that's just the guys on the truth. Turn on the TV and you will see it. All right. Now, accountability, the definition that is an obligation or a willingness to accept responsibility or to account for one's actions and the actions of others. All right. Because for the people that listen to this, people that know me, I hold myself accountable for the actions of those around me as well. All right. And one of the biggest issues, not only in the black community, but in American culture, is a lack of accountability that we continue to display. We must be accountable for ourselves and others. Accountability is what inspires people to respect you because they see that you maintain a standard of conduct, a standard of behavior, simply a standard. Most people are unwilling to do that, and that's out of fear. All right. And now everyone has this false idea that only God can judge me, when in fact you are judged every single day, every single second of your life by everyone that you encounter in life. When you walk by someone, all right, they're judging you. It's human nature that we look at people and judge them first off of their appearance and their actions. Like if I walk by you and we're in a grocery store and you're in pajamas, right? I'm going to probably think you don't give a fuck about your appearance. And you probably don't have the greatest self-esteem. Regardless of how you look physically, you can be attractive and your self-esteem is shit, And I'm looking at you in your pajamas and your hair bonnet and your fucking fuzzy slippers. You're in Target like that. You're not somebody I want to deal with. I'm sorry, that's just me. And that may be a little judgy, but guess what? You're getting judged. I'm sorry. We judge people every day. It's not saying we're saying they're a bad person, but it's who we decide that we want to give energy or attention to. Things like that. That's what I mean when I mean judged. All right. And we got this false idea that only God can judge me, but niggas will go to court every day, B. You know what I'm saying? People are getting judged every day, and it's human nature to do it. All right. It's human nature to do it. So holding people accountable isn't a sign of elitism, and it does not imply a superiority complex. People tend to think that because I hold people accountable or I want people to be held accountable that I'm an elitist, or I think that I'm superior to people. That's not what it is. It shows that you care enough about them to provide backup when they have a lapse in judgment or they show a lack of discipline. All right? Because people I don't care about, if I don't care about you, I'm not going to hold you accountable unless you do something that affects me or like my family, my safety, the general public, things like that. Like if you want to be, out in public and looking like a fucking bag of shit, I'm not going to say anything to you because I don't know you. So I have no attachment to you. I have no responsibility to you. All right. That's something small. But if you're somebody I deal with, somebody I care about, I'm going to tell you, if we're in we're in a restaurant, all right, and it's a fancy place and you come with the ass and titties out, all right, dressed like a stripper. First off, that's disrespectful. All right. But second, I'm going to hold you accountable and say, hey, maybe that's not the way to be. Or if it's something that I don't like, I got to let you know that. I got to voice my needs, right? That's the respect thing. But, or, if you're out with your boys and your homeboys out there, sag with his asshole hanging out, all right? I'm going to let them know, yo, man, this ain't the place to do that. Pull your pants up. And if you can't, then stop wearing fucking jeggings. Yeah, that's sus anyway, all right? But that's the thing, man. Like, you got to understand it's not about elitism, all right? Or if we're out in town, as me and the fellas and, some kids walk by, some older folks, whatever, or just anybody in general, we in a public forum, we shouldn't be using vulgar language like that, profane language. That shows a lack of education and a lack of respect. And then me not holding them accountable by making sure they don't do that. Now, if you listen to this podcast, I curse like a sailor because I will die a sailor, all right? Because when I'm not on a submarine, I'm rocking that little man on the boat. If you know, you know. I said it wasn't going to be entertaining today, but I can't, man. I gotta give you a little candy with the medicine, all right? But you care. If you care about somebody, you will hold them accountable, all right? Because it's when they have a lapse in judgment or they show a lack of discipline, and you need them to hold you accountable as well, all right? And if any of you guys ever seen, God... New Jack City, man. Shout out to Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes, my guy. All right. And so one of the questions that he asked was, am I my brother's keeper? All right. Am I my brother's keeper? And now you got to ask yourself that question today, but you got to apply it to your ladies as well. Am I my brother's and my sister's keeper? All right. Am I my brother and am I my sister's keeper? The answer is yes. Yes, you are. If we are a people, we are a family, we are a community, we have to hold each other accountable, and I have to be the keeper of my brother and sister, and that's not always the easy thing to do. That's not always the popular thing to do, but it's the right thing to do, all right? And so we as a people are not a monolith, but we are also not individual entities. We are a nation, we are a culture, we are a people, and we must be united in our direction. You got to understand what I'm saying. We have to be united in our direction. We don't all have to have the same exact ideas, but we have to have the same destination. All right. The path can be different. We can take branching paths. All right. But the destination has to be the same. All right. Our trajectory cannot be impeded by those that do not wish to uproot us from poverty and persecution. But we must strive to uplift our people into prosperity in all aspects of life. And that's just not talking financial. We always think, if you're doing good financially, I know a bunch of rich people that treat everybody like shit and never see their kids, treat the lady like shit, but they got money. It's not about money, I'm not the most biblical guy, but I've read the Bible at least 20,000 times, right? And so you can't serve two masters, all right? And when I say about that, what the Bible says about that is you can't serve two masters. They're talking about mammon and God and money. You can't serve two masters. You will learn to love one and grow to hate the other, all right? And so with that being said, as a people, as a nation, as a culture, our ultimate destination has to be a universally recognized idea by all of us, all right? We have to uplift our people into prosperity in all aspects of life, all right? And so some examples of accountability, and these are not going to be popular, but we've all been in situations for the most part where this could have been, this has been issues, all right? One example, not allowing your friends to cheat on their partner around you, all right? We all know that if our homeboy or our homegirl is dating somebody, we don't want to get involved in that. We don't want to be in the middle of that. And so we try to, be hands off. We try to be cordial and courteous to that person, right? But we don't want to get in the middle of that shit. And that's probably the right thing to do. But if you are bringing your relationship in front of me and stepping out on like if we're going out and you got a girl and we go to the club, and you fucking tonguing some chick down in the VIP section where I'm at, you putting me in an awkward spot, my man, because now we're going to be around, your girl, and you're going to be saying whatever shit, or she's going to be saying something about you like, oh, he's so great and faithful. And I'm like, yo, this motherfucker was sucking titties in the strip club. That is something I did before. I'll give you that story later. Is this legal? But that's the thing, man. Like, listen, you cannot allow your friends to cheat on their partner around you because, one, that is disrespectful to you. All right, because they think that you're the type of person to condone that kind of behavior. You cannot condone that kind of behavior. Simply ask them to remove that, shit from around you, or you remove yourself. All right, I'm sorry. It's not the popular thing to do, but it's the right thing to do. And we're not about being popular. We are about being real. All right, not being fake. What does fake stand for? Fucking assholes killing everything. And somebody that's going to cheat around you, they're going to kill the vibe. They're going to kill the buzz. And then when their girl finds out, they're going to come to you. And now you're like, it's like, oh, well, you didn't respect me as a person to tell me that this guy was fucking every bitch. Well, I didn't want to get involved because you didn't care about this person enough. All right. Not allowing your friends to disrespect people in public. And when I say I'm going to go ahead and throw this to the fellas. All right, so me as a young man, we would go to the club, and sometimes a nice lady would walk by with a red dress or a blue dress, and, one of the fellas would say, hey, you with the fat ass and the red dress. Yo, we got to hold each other accountable because we already addressed how important someone's name is. It's the sweetest sound that they can hear is their name. All right. And you're going to go out of your way to call them out of your name. You must be out of your fucking mind. All right. You are going out of your way, making a scene to call someone out of their name that you don't know. How are you not out of your mind? And we throw this on women and we're like, oh, we can't talk to women. We can't ask them to smile. We can't do this. We can't do that. Well, we've been catcalling and street harassing them for decades, generations, right? And so there's ways around that. All right. Just say hi. All right. Or smile and nod and don't say shit else. All right. But not allowing our friends or our family to disrespect people in public. If we're at a movie theater or a restaurant and the waiter gets something wrong, we can't allow our friends to go ahead and create and cause a scene and start disrespecting people in public. Listen, that person's doing their job and they may be bad at it, but that's the job that they have to do. All right. And they're at work and we're not going to make their day any better. So if we feel a need to disrespect someone in public, then we should also understand that we need to displace ourselves from them. All right. So if you feel a need to disrespect someone, then all you got to do is displace yourself from that situation. All right. That equation will not add up. 1 + 1 won't equal 2 when you subtract that one, that is you, out of that equation. All right. Let that go over your head. And it's like I said, man, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not like Al Sharpton. I'm not DeRay Mackinson. I'm not Kevin Samuels. I'm not Dr. Umar. I'm not Charlemagne the God. I am Taurean Meacham. All right. I am the son of Bruce Booker and Esther Meacham. All right. I am the legacy of my grandparents. All right. That's all I am, and that's why I'm taking this time out, because I care about you people. And when I say you people, I mean my connoisseurs and my sommeliers, my ladies and gentlemen, all my motherfucking cognac sippers, my weed smokers, my submariners, my military veterans, my single moms, my single dads, my married couples, my black people, my white people, my Asians, all right, my Hispanics, my Latinx people, my Micronesians, my Polynesians, my Asian Island, Pacific Islanders, all right, my Buddhists, my Catholics, my Christians. All of y'all are my people until you show me that you're not my people. All right, just keep that in mind. All right, another example of accountability is helping your people, the people that you care about, helping your people with diet and exercise. All right, now we just said, hey, educate yourself on fitness and nutrition, and we said why. Here's the deal, right? If you don't watch what you eat, you're going to get diabetes, you're going to get high blood pressure, you're going to get heart disease, and you're going to fucking die. You know what's going to happen? You're going to be dead. So not shit is going to happen. You'll be fucking dead. And I'm going to be 125 years old, smoking weed, jet skiing barefoot with fucking DJ Khaled because he got a robot body now. All right? Because he got money. But I took care of myself and I helped people with their diet and exercise as well. Now, folks that know me, they know diet and exercise is very important to me. And I will share that knowledge with you, but I'm not gonna force it down your throat. All right. So if you want help about diet and exercise, or your friends need help, you should be able to go to your circle. You should be able to go to your friends, your family, all right, or who you're fornicating with, and you should be able to help them, or they should be able to help you. Or if you don't, you guys can make that goal together and do it together. All right. So teaching people life skills that you haven't been taught at home, that is another example of accountability. Like I said, we weren't taught financial management, all right? But if you know financial management, you can teach the next person. That's holding them accountable because they don't know something, and that will be to their detriment, and you care about them, all right? You care about them. So you will hold them accountable, and you will teach them, because accountability is an obligation or a willingness to accept responsibility or to account for one's actions or the actions of others, and that also accounts for inaction, all right? It also accounts for inaction. So teaching people life skills you haven't been taught at home, all right? I witnessed my dad teach another kid how to tie a tie because he didn't have a father at home to teach him that. I know a bunch of brothers like that, man. Shout out to R.E.A.L, man, Asbury Park football coach for the Pop Warner program. He does a great job with the mentorship program with a lot of the football playing youth, things of that nature. And I've seen them, do things like that, teach life skills to kids that may not have, a strong, not just a male role model, a strong, positive male role model. And it's people like that do shit like that in the community that makes me, happy to be where I'm from. And then it makes me hopeful for the future, for the next generation, because even though we didn't have, all of the strong, positive male role models we should have had, the ones that we did have did a great job of branching out and being a father, being an uncle, being an older brother to people that weren't blood relatives. All right. Keep that in mind. Don't let that go over your head. All right. So being an active member of your community through charitable works. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, we're in a recession. We're in a pandemic. Niggas is broke. Just like Jeezy said, it's a recession. Everybody broke. So I came back to give everybody hope. Shout out to Jeezy. All right. And so being an active member in your community through charitable works, that could be something as simple as going to clean a park. We complain that the kids don't have anywhere to play. We'll take you and your buddies, instead of playing Call of Duty, y'all can take one afternoon, go down to the park, clean that shit up. Guarantee you, people will see you guys doing this and want to participate. All right. I did this when I was a recruiter. You go to the beach, you take 10 people out there, you start cleaning up. You'll finish with 50 people because people get inspired when they see people doing good. And a lot of times they get intimidated because they think, well, how can I'm just one person. What can I do? But once you understand that there's other people around you that want to be active in that community, they're just intimidated because it's only them. All right. They will join you. You go out there with 5 people, you'll end with 50. All right. I've done it a million times. When I used to go out in Honolulu, I would just go to McDonald's and, buy a bunch of burritos and, a bunch of bottles of water, things like that, get like little toothpaste, deodorant packs, things of that nature, and pass out in the park. I would go out there in my car, trunk full of that stuff, just me by myself. And by the time I was over 4 hours later, it'd be 20, 25 people, of all ages, of all races, all backgrounds, ethnicities, political affiliations, because they seen one person doing something good and they said, fuck, well, if he's doing it, I can too. All right. And let me help. I may not want to be the head, but I can help. I may not want to be the head, but I can help. I may not want to be the leader, but I can be led. All right. Keep that in your fucking mind. Keep that in your mind. You're going to use it later on. You just don't know when. But you may not want to be the leader, but you are willing to be led. And you may not want to be the head, but you are willing to help. All right? So being an active member of your community is another way that you can hold yourself and others accountable. All right. Another one is mentoring. All right. We should all have mentors and we should all be mentors. So back in the day, if you're from where I'm from, a lot of the mentors was the OGs. All right. And we had a lot of those, unfortunately, because of the choices the OGs made. Ain't a lot of OGs around. All right. So now the OGs are the cats that went to college, the cats that started businesses, the cats that might have did the wrong thing but came back to the hood. Now they're doing good. All right. So anyone can be a mentor. All right. You just have to have experience and an open mind, an open heart, an open ear and some empathy. All right. Because mentorship is a two-way street. You can mentor somebody and your mentee can also teach you. All right. It can also help you grow and learn and develop as a person. All right. And, we complain about the lack of leaders in the community, things of that nature. Every mentor is a leader and everybody has the ability to be a mentor. All right. It can take as little as an hour a week, man, just to sit down with somebody else and provide them with a little guidance. You do not understand how much that improves the life of young men and young women, because it shows that somebody else out there cares. Somebody gives a fuck. It's somebody that doesn't know them, that has no that they're not entitled to help, but they're making a choice to help this person, to mentor this person, to guide this person. So mentorship is another example of how you can hold yourself and others accountability and help with this trajectory that we're trying to maintain. That will help uplift our people into prosperity. All right. And by our people, I mean the motherfuckers right now that's tuned in. And for you guys, let me go ahead and take a sip of my invisible cup. And it's crazy, man. These conversations, bro, I would have with random people at a bar. Shout out to, one of my OGs, the legendary Jen Ackrell out in Hawaii, world famous bartender, lover. She's like, an auntie. Super cool, super insightful, a lot of life experiences. And we would just have these conversations, or she would, be at the bar and she would hear me have these conversations with people about just random shit in the most open, honest way. And you would have people with opposing ideas, and it was never about being right. For me, it was about gaining an understanding of this person's perspective and this point of view. Because even though I may not agree with it, all right, if I can understand it and understand the motivations behind it, then that can help me formulate my perspective and my worldview to be able to encompass what they're going through, like what they're thinking. It's about, being able to deliver a message and have empathy before being asked to have empathy. All right. You're taking into consideration things that other folks won't. All right. And that's the thing, man. Like we gotta be willing to hold each other accountable. All right. And so we talked about respectful. We talked about being educated. We talked about being accountable. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about is the L. The L, the L, the L, the O, the O, the O, the O, the V, 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 the E, the E, the E, the E. One love, one love. You're lucky just to have just one love. And that's what I'm talking about. Loving, loving, loving. That is what the L stands for. Real men and real women. Respectful, educated, accountable, and loving. All right. And so we must always lead with love. And I'm gonna go to the Bible for this one. So the choir, if you can hear me, hallelujah, hallelujah. The choir, if you can hear me, I'm gonna go to the Bible. All right. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4-8. Y'all, some of y'all said this at your fucking weddings. I used to have this hanging up on a poster in my house. But I don't mean to curse and reference in the Bible. Somebody hold me accountable. Somebody hold me accountable. I'm not going to smoke weed when I'm talking about the Bible. But brothers smoke weed and Bible people's in jail. So if you know about that, you know about this. All right, so 1 Corinthians 13, 4-8 states that love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects. It always trusts, always hopes, and always preserves. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. And where there is knowledge, it will pass away. Now, everything we just talked about with this acronym about being respectful, educated, accountable, and loving is encompassed right there. Shout out to the dude that wrote that. He has some bars because it wasn't Jesus. All right. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. All right. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. But love never fails. All right. I'll forget something you taught me, but I will never forget how you made me feel. All right. Now I used to think about, like, how does a baby know to love its mom? Because the mom and the dad, but especially the mom makes the baby feel safe and secure because they're the one that's carrying them for 9 months and nursing them as well and showing them all the love and compassion and empathy and kissing the boo-boos, things of that nature. All right. You know how that person made you feel. Love never fails. All right. And so people that know me know I'm into a lot of world philosophies. I study a lot of Buddhism. All right. Shout out to Buddha. Got a little bit right here. Smoking on that Buddha. All right. But Buddhism teaches us that love is the ability to feel compassion for the person. Now, I just read that from the Bible, right? All right. So love is the ability to feel compassion for another person. My damn shit went out. Now, I didn't say somebody that you're sleeping with, somebody that owes you money, somebody related to. It is simply showing compassion for another human being. And that's hard today, man. People don't have compassion for other people. All right. Now, this love originates from the same location as faith. All right. Because faith is not knowing what's going to happen, but trusting in yourself and in others for the right thing to happen. All right. And this compassion that you feel for your brother or your sister is what leads us all into the cycle of giving and receiving respect. Now, the random person that I see on the street, all right, I never met him at all. I love you. All right. I love you until I have a reason not to love you. Now, this love doesn't mean I'm about to be, taken advantage of or made look like a sucker. But meaning that I love you is that I'm willing to feel compassion for you. So if I see you broken down the side of the road, I'm going to stop and help you. If I see you fall, I'm going to help you up. If I see a door and you carrying bags, I'm going to open that door for you. That's an expression of love because I love you. All right. But don't make me bring the hate out. You don't want, I give you the love. You don't want the hate. The hate is the right. The right comes over the top. All right. Shout out to R.E.A.L. Do the right thing. Spike Lee, genius. All right. But love originates from the same location as faith. And love, what Buddha teaches us, is that love is the ability to feel compassion for another person. And we know that we're lacking that today. All right. And the compassion that you feel for your brother or sister is what will lead you into the cycle of giving and receiving respect. All right. Compassion allows you to obtain perspective. We all operate from a very narrow worldview at first. All right. And then life educates us and expands our horizons. Like my man Dr. Flanagan would say, rest in peace to the GOAT. All right. Compassion allows you to obtain perspective. Compassion allows you to obtain perspective. Perspective broadens your worldview and makes it easier for you to empathize with each other. All right. Because once you can feel compassion for another person, all right, you can start to understand why things are the way they are, or why they do what they do, or why this situation is like this. And you won't blame them. And it's not saying sympathy. All right, it's empathy. It's a difference. All right, and now let's get into what the fuck empathy is. Empathy is the action of understanding. Empathy is the action of understanding. being aware of, being sensitive to, and vicariously experiencing the feelings, thoughts, and experience of another of either the past or present without having the feelings, thoughts, and experience fully communicated in an objectively explicit manner. Now I'm going to say it again. Empathy is the action of understanding, being aware of, being sensitive to, and vicariously experiencing the feelings, thoughts, and the experience of another of either the past or present without having the feelings, thoughts, and experience fully communicated in an objectively explicit manner. All right. And this has to be done in a manner that leaves no vagueness or ambiguity. All right. There can be no vagueness or ambiguity when it comes to empathy. Empathy is the action. It is an action. To be empathetic. All right. That is an action. That's not passive. All right. There can be no question of our intent. And let me be clear. I'm going to be 100% clear. Like I said, the person that I met that I don't know that I see walk down the street, I love you because you're a human being. I respect you. All right. But when you give me a reason not to, then I don't. All right. That's just what it is. All right. Everyone is not entitled to your love. Love is a verb. All right. It is also a resource. Listen, love is a verb. And it is also a resource. I love you is the verb. All right. I am sharing my love with you is the resource. All right. We do not have the luxury of wasting time and energy on those who do not seek to be real. And we know what real stands for: respectful, educated, accountable, loving. We do not have the luxury of wasting time and energy on those who do not seek to be real men and real women. This does not mean that we show them hatred instead. No. We will exercise respect and courtesy. We can still treat them with dignity. What we cannot do is waste what little time we have on this earth on people who do not have our best interests in mind. And I'm going to tell you right now, folks that know me or worked with me, they know I can be the nicest person to people I don't like. All right. Because we still have to get something done, get something accomplished. Because I don't like you or I don't love you doesn't mean that I hate you. I'm just not bought into you. All right. I'm not emotionally or mentally or spiritually attached to you at any kind of point. You're a human being. I want you to survive and live. All right. We don't got to be cool, but we got a job to do. All right. Or, I don't agree with some of your views, but unless you're doing something that puts my life for the well-being of myself and my people in jeopardy, then I don't have to hate you. All right. I can still be respectful and courteous, still treat you with dignity. But what I'm not going to do is waste time dealing with you, waste time arguing with you. We have little time on this earth. So that means we have even less time to waste on people who do not have our best interests in mind. All right. Now, here's some examples of love. All right. Checking in on your people. We see people posting on social media all the time about not having anybody caring about them and no one loves me and blah, 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 blah. You know why? Because we'll like a person's status, but never actually call them or shoot them a text. We'll write happy birthday on their fucking timeline, but we won't call them. It's like we don't even text them and say birthday. We just fucking, we just like, all right, Facebook says your birthday, happy birthday. It automatically fills it in for you. You just click fucking send. But we're not gonna call your people. Like, we're not having conversations with our people. All right, just checking in on your family, your friends, your loved ones, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. That is showing love, man. That's a verb. You're checking in on them to understand about their well-being and see, is there anything that you can do to improve upon that. Check in on your people. If you check in on your people, you're showing them that you care about them. That's an action verb. You're showing them that you love them. All right. Greeting everyone respectfully. Like I said, I don't know you, right? So I'm not going to call you out your name. Your name is so important to you. My name is important to me. So I'm going to greet you respectfully. It's like I said, if you're an older man, older woman, and I don't know you, I'm going to call you sir or ma'am. Regardless, black, white, alien, human, you one of the inners, you one of the outers, you one of the outers on fucking the Expanse, bro. You from the outer belt, you an alien. I'm gonna still greet you with sir or ma'am. If you're like my age, I'm gonna call you brother or sister. you know. And if you are younger than me, I'm gonna still call you brother or sister, you know. But don't get it twisted, you know. I expect the same, you know. But then once we get away from that, I just won't greet you. That's what it is, you know. So and to my brothers, to the men, greeting everyone respectfully does not mean calling a woman out a name, you know, describing her by what she's wearing or her physical attributes, you know. Just sister or queen. That's it. You know, if you don't know her name, sister or queen or ma'am, or you don't say shit at all, or you just give a head nod. Like when I'm walking down the street, and if we all have our masks on, I'm not trying to talk, so I head nod everybody, you know. But if we're in like close proximity, or if I'm, you know, approaching you, or we're like in a social situation, you know, I'm gonna call everybody, you know, hey, what's up, sister? How you doing? You know, hey, how you doing, man? Or I'm just, you know, hey, how you doing? And I'm gonna ask you, what do you like to be called? What do you like to be called? What is your name? That is important. What is your name? I want to know your name so I can greet you respectfully, you know? Or like Jodeci said, I want to know your name. Come and talk to me, man. No one wants to see Jodeci in that verses. Let me chill. I'm trying to educate y'all right now. So greet everyone respectfully. Being an active listener in other people's lives. Now, we all know when, you know, you got your homeboy and you tell him your problems about your girl dogging you out and your mans ain't listening to you. He's just like, oh, shit, for real, bro? Damn, that's crazy, you know? And he's just ignoring the shit out you, bro. Or your girl's talking to you, and you're just zoning the fuck out, thinking about Steph Curry scoring 39 points or Russell Westbrook getting a million triple doubles, instead of actively listening to their issues, or their problems, or their hopes and dreams, you know. And all you got to do to be active is just ask them to elaborate, you know. Well, what do you mean by that? That's it. You ask them, well, what do you mean by that? Well, can you explain that more? Or why, you know, ask questions about what they're saying, you know. They're telling you because it's important to them. So why don't you show some compassion and some empathy to understand even more? Be active in the listening process. Listening, it has an ing. It's a fucking action verb, all right? So actively listen. Also, I'm going to end with this part on the loving thing. Real big one. Learning your partner's romantic love language and how you are willing to communicate that with them. All right. So learning your partner's love language. All right. And then learning how you are willing to communicate that with them. And so, you know, we a lot of you guys and girls have no idea what the fuck I mean when I'm talking about love languages. And that's cool, man. Like, this was some shit made up by a fucking doctor, and I'm gonna get you his name. All right, I want to say like Dr. Samuels or something like that. It's not Dr. Umar or Kevin Samuels, but there's 5 love languages, and I want to rattle them off with words of affirmation, receiving gifts, acts of service, quality time, and then like physical touch. All right, and those are listen. I've been to therapy, and that's what it is, right? But you got to understand what your partner's love language is and what your love language is, and are you willing to communicate that with them? All right, because if your partner wants to receive gifts, and that's not you, because you think it's tricking, all right, and you're not going to buy them shit or give them gifts, you know, or they may want gifts, and it's not they don't want a Birkin bag. They want, when you're out at the grocery store and you know she likes Reese cups. You bring her some Reese cups, bro, because you know she likes them and you care about her. All right. That's what it is. So you got to understand what their love language is and how you can communicate that with them. If there's somebody that needs to hear words of affirmation, that wants to hear I love you, but you're not the I love you guy, you got to make a choice. Am I going to do what my partner needs me to do to make them happy? Or am I going to be a fucking dickhead? All right. Am I going to be fake? Am I going to be a fucking asshole killing everything? And by everything, killing the romance? Because she wants me to say I love you, and I'm not willing to do that. And if you love someone, you're willing to do that. If you respect someone, you're willing to do that. Your partner is trying to hold you accountable, but you're not willing to do that. All right. So with your partner's love language, you know, have these conversations early and often, because sometimes they may change. When we're younger, we kind of like gifts and the words of affirmation and the public gestures, things like that. And then when you get older, you just want that person to be dependable. Be reliable, be there. That's it. Spend time, quality time for me. Most important thing, quality time. Everything else, is fleeting. But the one thing you won't forget is the time, man, and how to make you feel. So that's the thing, man. Learn your partner's romantic love language and how you are willing to communicate that with them. And we can go into that way further, but I've been talking for like an hour and a half right now. And I got somewhere to go. But because I gave you guys the most entertaining podcast in the world last week, I'm going to give you one that's educational and insightful. And we talked about real men and real women. These are the only people I deal with, is real men and real women. This is non-denominational, non-partisan. We don't care about your gender preference or your sexual orientation. All right. Black, white, yellow, and brown, it doesn't matter. This is real men and real women, and this is the momentum that we're moving forward with in 2020. All right, I don't want to discuss anything else, because that's a waste of energy and a waste of resources, man. But when you hear me reference this, real men and real women, respectful, educated, accountable, and loving, this is what we are talking about, and this is what Cognac Stories is about, man. It's me sharing my stories and my experiences with you guys. You guys feeding that information back to me about your experiences, and then us just having a great fucking time. Last week I almost died from fucking hemp and having anaphylaxis and shit, and this week I learned I'm allergic to hemp, and I'm back to smoking regular regular joints, not an organic shit. Douce and apple juice on deck as usual. It's fucking Tuesday. I'm about to get some tacos. You know what it is, man. Cognac Stories, one man army, Taurean.Meacham.com. Don't get it fucking twisted. Fuck being woke. Should never been sleep. Peace.